So, chat, how you guys been? We indeed did not stream yesterday, so yeah, that happened. But hey, look, we're live today. That's all that matters. There we go. Should be good. That's good. Alright, to put the tags. Just give me a second. Do this real quick. Okay, that's done. One more boom. Post. Alright, so for today's stream, we're going to be continuing on what we were doing, which is the Twitter clone. Streaming gonna start in a few minutes. In the meantime, I actually made a new playlist, cargo sync playlist. Actually, pretty good, in my opinion. Ooh, what a life. I'm like low-key hurts. Oh. All right. Let's start right after I do this real quick. Bro, this camera quality is actually so bad. I think I'll get a webcam soon. Low key. Pretty soon, I'll invest in a webcam because on my phone and here, the quality is totally different. So let's just size this down. See how it looks. Oh yeah, that quality is definitely so bad. Using my webcam. Is that alright though? So what we chat do this. Okay. Right. Scrimba.com.
For all unspoken thoughts, impossible to extract, buried deep inside. Even with all the will, you can't do anything.
Oh my. Okay. Oh yeah, new course. That's nice. Let's see. Learning Git and GitHub. Ooh. Yeah, I'm actually need to go over this again. And it's not that long. I hope they teach you how to like work with merge conflicts. Ooh, look right here. That's amazing. It's actually incredible. Watch preview. Let's see the preview.
Hello and welcome to our course on Git.
And I realized that in their new scripts, they have new mouse cursors and everything is so updated from what we use, which is actually so nice.
And GitHub. In this course, we're going to learn about how we can track different versions of our projects using version control. My name is Gregor. I'm a full-time developer and coding tutor, and I will be your guide through these lessons as we learn about Git and GitHub. In this course, we're going to learn about using version control for our projects to track different versions of that project over time, and the workflow we follow when we use Git. We're going to learn how to upload a project to GitHub so that we have it backed up in an online repository. We're going to learn a few different methods for how we can use Git and GitHub together. We'll learn about collaborating with other developers when we're using these tools. We'll finish with a quick tour of all the other features available on GitHub. And throughout this course, there's going to be loads of opportunities for you to practice these skills using Git and GitHub. Okay, and let's begin on this adventure.
Okay. I mean, it's a cool little intro. Alright, back to what we do. So, there's this now on this. Oh yeah, CVN.
Have you noticed how many icons there are on websites these days? They are everywhere. Take this screenshot from Spotify, for example. These home, search, and your library icons really add something. Oh look, someone's searching for the Scrimba podcast. Good idea. So where do icons like this come from?
Remember how the podcast? What? Scrimba have a... Bro, you're lying. Hold on. Scrimba podcast. The Scrimba podcast. What did they talk about? Learning from inspiring developers about how they found meaningful and fulfilling work that also pays them well. On the Scrimba podcast, you'll hear motivational advice and job hunting strategies from developers who've been exactly where you are now. We talk to developers about their challenges, learnings, and switching industries in the hopes of inspiring you. This is the podcast that provides inspiration, tools, and roadmaps to move from where you are to work that matters to you and uniquely fits your strengths and talents. End of season 1, January 16th. Okay, it's pretty late for us. 2024. That was 2025. Why'd they start the Scrimba podcast? How many people do they have following? How do I check? Started in 2023. And they just... Oh. This is nice. I'll ask why they stopped Scrimba podcast. Okay. This is nice. I used to want to listen to like something like this back then. When I still do this. It has 244 stars. Hey bro, Scrimba, if you're watching this, you gotta need to get back on Scrimba podcasts, bro.
Well, you don't have to design them yourself. You can get them from a third party and have them delivered to your app by a CDN, or Content Delivery Network. What exactly is a CDN? Well, a CDN is a remote service. It provides assets to web applications. Now, those assets can be pretty much anything. Functions to do particular calculations, styles, or in our case, icons. The CDN gives us a snippet of code that will bring the asset into our application. Now, today, we are going to use a CDN called Font Awesome, and we're going to use it to add some awesomeness to our site. Right now, I'm creating a site for my new dinosaur theme park. It's called Triassic World. I honestly don't know where my inspiration comes from. Sometimes I think I'm a creative genius. Okay, we are going to add some icons to this site, and we're going to use Font Awesome because they give away a ton of free icons. This is what I want it to look like. We're going to have icons for home, location, email, and calendar. Now, getting assets from a CDN is relatively simple. We can go to a site like CDN.js where loads of CDNs are available. All we need to do once we've found the CDN that we're looking for, and I've already come to the Font Awesome page, is click. This middle icon here, which is actually going to copy.
Let's see how they're getting these.
a snippet of code to our clipboard. Now, by the way, this slide is a clickable link, so if you click on it, it will take you through to CDN.js, so you can check it out yourself. Okay, so I've copied the snippet of code, and I'm going to bring it over into index.html, and then right at the top, inside the head section, I'm going to bring it in right here. And now, because we've got quite a jumble of code in this head section, I'm just going to add a comment to keep things tidy. Okay, let's save that, and now let's get our hands on some icons. To find the icons, let's go to the Font Awesome homepage, and we're going to click through to the search page. Now, the first icon I want is the house icon, so I've searched for house. I can click here on the icon that I like the look of, and that will bring up a pop-up. Now, on this pop-up, we can completely ignore this bit here that says start using this icon. We have already brought in the CDN, so all we actually need is the HTML that we've got right here. And what we've got is an iTag with some classes in it. Now, this iTag has two classes, and that is quite common. The first one is a fairly generic one. FA, or Font Awesome Solid, that tells us that this is a solid icon, not an outline icon like we've got up here. And then FA House is obviously bringing in the specific house icon that we're after. So clicking anywhere here inside this box is going to copy that HTML, and then we can bring it over to index.html. I have got a section with the class of icons bar, and I'm going to add that HTML right here. And let's hit save. And there we are, we have got our first icon. Now I should just add that over in the CSS, I already set up the styles for this.
Hold on, chat. I just remember something. Just give me a second. I'll be. Yeah, I'm back. When did it switch back?
We've got the eye selector right here, and I'm setting the color to red. And we've also got this icons bar, which is going to make the icons display in a row, just like we've got in our screenshot. Now, as you can see, we have got 3 icons missing. We've got the location, email, and calendar. So it's time for a challenge. I want you to click on this slide, which will take you through to the search page on Font Awesome. When you're there, here is your challenge. I want you to find the icons for location, email, and calendar and add them right here underneath this house icon. And I've just put a reminder here that you can refer back to this screenshot so you can see exactly what it is we're looking for. Okay, pause now, click through to the Font Awesome search page, find those icons, get them into our HTML, and I'll see you back here in just a minute.
So location, email, and calendar. Okay.
Okay, so hopefully.
Further. Email. Gotta get the email. Email tag. Is it random? How do they even? Okay. Calendar. I don't know how Scrimba does this, but woohoo to them, bro. Some magic. Now it's time for the calendar. Did I spell a calendar? Yeah. Not stupid after all. Skull. Okay. Boom. Refresh. Oh. works. Is there a slide? Okay. You got a big burner. You got me burning.
Okay, so hopefully you got that working just fine. So let's just go back to this screenshot so we can see what we're aiming for. Now I'm going to take this existing icon and I'm just going to copy it 3 more times. As we want, and hopefully you all good use. Ready to get to work on that. I'll see you in the next scrim. If we compare this screenshot to what we've got over here, we can see a really big difference in how we're displaying these 3 numbers at the bottom of the tweet. What we really need are some icons. These icons really improve the look of the app, but more importantly, they improve the user experience, as now users will actually know what these numbers refer to. Now, we know we can get some icons from Font Awesome, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, the first part of this challenge is over in index.html. I want you to bring in the Font Awesome CDN. Now, I've put a slide here, which is actually a clickable link. You can click through to this page, hit this middle icon here, which will give you all of the code you need, and then bring it back to index.html. And I've just said here, add a comment to the HTML. What I'm referring to is this. We've got a comment for the CSS, a comment for the Google fonts. When we've brought in the Font Awesome CDN, there's going to be quite a lot of code in this head section, and I think these comment labels just make it clearer. Okay, pause now, get that sorted, and I'll see you back here in just a second.
Alright, Mr. Scrum. Control PC. Font. Got me burning. Got me burning. Got me burning. You got me burning. Got me burning.
Okay, so I've grabbed the Font Awesome code and I'm just going to paste it in here. And now I'll just add a comment. And of course we can do that with shortcut keys. So that is Command/ on a Mac and Control/ on Windows. And I'll just put Font Awesome CDN. Okay, now that's sorted, I'm just going to delete that challenge, and now that head section is looking busy, but it is clear what everything does. Back in index.js, we have got another challenge. We're working inside this function getFeedHTML, and we're going to make some changes to the template string that we've got down here. We have got these 3 spans with the class of tweet detail, one here, and one here. And what we need to do is come in then and add an icon to each one. So here is your challenge. Inside each span that has a class of tweet detail, add an I tag. Give each I tag the classes it needs to render the correct icons next to the numbers. The classes that you'll need will be the FA regular and the FA solid, depending on which icon you're using. And then we've got FA comment dots, that is for the reply icon that you can see here. We've got FA heart for the like icon, and of course FA retweet. So to work out if an icon is solid or regular, you can refer back to the screenshot. So we've got regular for the comment icon, solid for the like icon, and solid for the retweet icon. Okay, pause now, get that sorted out, and I'll see you back here in just a minute.
Alright, Mr. Scrum. Alright, so inside each span that has a class of tweet detail. Alright, so they say right here an I tag. Boom, I. Boom. Boom. Class. To the replies. FA regular. I'm gonna copy and paste this 3 times. Copy. Boom. Boom. If a regular FA comment docs. Let's go. Alright, now we know it works. FA solid. FA heart. An FA retweet. FA solid. FA retweet. Boom! That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so hopefully you got that sorted out just fine. So let's come down here and I will set up the I tags. And these I tags will need to have some classes. And so now I'm just going to copy and paste this because we need it twice more. Okay, let's add some classes. So the first one we want to deal with is the replies. And if we have a look here, the replies icon is FA regular because it's not a solid block like this heart icon. And then the second more descriptive class we need is this one, FA comment dots. Let's hit save and see if that's worked. And there we are, we have got our first icon. Okay, let's come down to the likes, black. Okay, so now we've got these icons, we need to be able to interact with them. So for example, when a user clicks on the like icon, the like count should increment. So that's the next thing to look at. When you're ready for that, I'll see you in the next scrim.
Oh boy.
Each of our tweets has a number of likes. This one by Elon has got 6,500. And if we go over to the data, we can see that each of our objects has got a likes property, which stores a number. Now, what we want to be able to do is come onto a tweet, click on the heart icon and like that tweet. So now Elon has got 6,501 likes. And eventually we'll also want to be able to come onto the retweet icon and increment the number of retweets and detect clicks on the reply icon so that we can show or hide the replies. So ultimately we're going to need to know which type of icon was clicked. Was it a reply, a like or a retweet? And which tweet that icon belongs to. Was it Trollbot, Elon or Noob Coder? So how are we going to do this? Well, back in the data, we know that each object has got a UID, a unique identifier. So that could be useful, but we can't just give each icon an ID which is the same as the tweet's UID and then have the event listener detect the ID of the clicked icon because IDs have to be unique. And anyway, the ID wouldn't tell us whether it was a like, retweet or reply icon that was clicked. Now, alternatively, we could maybe achieve this by adding an event listener to each icon. But that would mean having 3 event listeners on each tweet, and we want our app to be scalable. There could be thousands of tweets, which means having thousands of event listeners. This is something to be avoided because it could affect performance and our code would be less dry. So what I want is to have just one event listener on the feed and to find a way of storing some data on an icon element so it can tell us which type of icon it is, reply, like, or retweet, and which tweet it belongs to. So what we need is a new skill. So let's take a moment away from the app to look at something called a data attribute, which is going to help us solve this problem. When you're ready for that, I'll see you in the next scrim. Let's take a moment to talk about data attributes, which is a way of storing extra information in HTML elements. Back on my Triassic World site, I'm creating a gallery page, and I've got an image of a model standing in front of a dinosaur, and we had to pay thousands to get this model. Now, this is the only image I've got at the moment, but later there will be hundreds. And each image is going to have a like icon and a share icon. Now, if a user clicks on this share icon, I need a way of knowing that this icon is related to this image. If we look at the HTML, we can see that each image lives in a container, and these social icons, the like and the share, have a div of their own at the bottom. The image itself has got an ID, and that is the only unique identifier in this entire image container div. So when it comes to making it clear that this share icon right here is related to this image, you might be tempted to take this image ID and use it as an ID in the other elements like the like button and the share button. But there's a big problem. IDs have to be unique, and using an ID multiple times could cause us a ton of problems. And also, you might be thinking that we could use some JavaScript to get the ID of the parent element or the grandparent element of these icons. Well, that's not going to work either, because it's the image that's got the ID, and the image is not a parent or a grandparent of these icons. So what we really need is a way of storing some info inside this element that says this icon goes with this image. And data attributes allow us to do exactly that. Now, storing some data on an element is not some amazing new power. You do this all the time. Look at this image element I've got here, for example. It's storing a class and an ID. No big deal. We never really think of these in terms of how they're actually storing information on an element. Now let's see how we can add a data attribute to this element, but before we do that, let's look at the data attribute syntax. Often in docs, data attributes are shown as data dash and then an asterisk. Now that is done just to show you that the data dash part is the syntax for setting up the data attribute, and the asterisk represents the name you give the data attribute. So every data attribute starts with data dash and then has a unique name, which should of course be descriptive to the data that you're storing. You then set that equals to a string, and you put your string in inverted commas, and the data you put here can be whatever you want it to be, as long as it's a string. So let's see how that looks in real code. So we've got an image element here, it's got a class, and now it's got a data attribute. So data dash is the compulsory syntax, size is the name of this data attribute, and here it is storing the size of the image, presumably in pixels. Let's come in here to the share icon and set up a data attribute. So I need data dash, and then I'll call this one share. And then I'll use equals and inverted commas, and the data I'm going to store will just be the ID of the image that this share button is related to. And that is image-1. Okay, so we've got a data attribute set up, we've stored some useful data on this image element, and in the next Scrim, we'll look at how we can work with this using JavaScript. When you're ready for that, I'll see you there. Okay, so we have a data attribute called share right here on this share icon. And it's holding the ID of the image above it, which is image-1. So that is this image
What kind of part of this music?
right here, which is the model standing in front of the dinosaur. Now let's look at how we can work with this in JavaScript. So over in index.js, I have set up an event listener on the document. So this is listening out for clicks on the entire page. And when it detects a click, this function will fire. So how can we get access to the data in our data attribute? Well, we need to use our old friend, the event. So let's just put an E in here, or if you prefer, you can write out event. Let's just log out the event. And now let's click on this share icon. And down in the console, we don't get very much information because the Scrimba editor's console doesn't give us too many details. But I took some screenshots in Chrome DevTools just a moment ago. So when we log out the event, we get access to this object. And if we click on this arrow, we see a wealth of information. And if we scroll down, we get to the target. Now the target is the element that was clicked to trigger the event listener. So in this case, it is the I tag, and we can see its classes, FA solid and FA share. And actually, if we have a look at the HTML, there we are, we've got FA solid and FA share. So let's click on this arrow and open up the target. And in the past, we scrolled down to find the ID of the element. We're not looking for the ID now, but if we do scroll down, we will come to the data set. And the data set is where whatever data we stored in our data attribute will be kept. And actually, we can already see a preview of it right here, but let's click this arrow, and there we are. We've got a data set called share, and it holds image-1. And if we just have a look here, we've got the data set called share, and image-1 is the data we stored in it, which is, of course, the ID of our image. So let's remember the process we went to get to that. First, we found the event, then we scrolled down and found the target, and then we found the data set. And remember, the event is an object, so we should be able to access all of those properties and the data we want. So let's go back to the JavaScript, to this console.log, and we're going to say e.target.dataset.
Am I tired or
And now
something?
I'll hit save, and I'll click on the share icon again. And in the console, we're getting closer. It says DOM string map, and we don't really know what that means right now, but that's absolutely fine. We've got those curly braces there that tells us that we're working with an object. So let's just try accessing the share property on that object. And now when I click the share icon, there we are. We are getting access to the data that we stored on that element, which is the ID of this image. And that, of course, is really cool because, as we know, now we've got the ID of an element, we can take control of it and do what we want with it. So right now, we might be incrementing the share count, for example. Now, okay, but we've got a bit of a problem here. If we click anywhere else on the page, we are logging out undefined. Now that figures because this is logging out the data that is stored in a data attribute with the name share, and that only exists on this one small element. So what we can do is set up an if to only log this out if this data attribute exists. So I'll come in here and I'll say if, and we want this if to check if this will return true. If this returns true, that means that the data attribute with the name share exists on the target element, in which case, let's log it out. If this returns false, then this code here won't run and we won't log anything out. Let's hit save and see if that's worked. So we can log out our data. Now I'll click on the image, on the like icon, on the logo, and nothing happens. Okay, so that is pretty useful. Right, it is challenge time, and this challenge is coming in two parts because I need you to do some work both here in index.js and in index.html. Let's start with the HTML first. So your challenge is to add a data attribute holding the ID of the image to the heart icons tag. So that is this one right here. Once you've done that, come back to the JavaScript, and I'm just going to copy and paste this challenge inside this function because that is where you're going to be doing the work. I want you to make clicking on the heart icon log out the ID of the image. So we've already done that for the share icon. Now we just need to do it for the heart icon. Okay, pause now, get that sorted out, and I'll see you back here in just a minute.
Betcha, bro. So we need to come here and say data heart equals this is for the image one. These is a share button. Is it the same thing? It's the same thing. Image one. Check solution. Oh no. And then make the click. So if e dot b dot target dot datasets dot art string console.log, same thing. And then we should have it.
I'm going to call it data heart. Need to make clicking on a data, and if it does and there we are to this image, and right here we've figured out which icon has been ton of uses, and back in the main project, I just want to jump in here really quickly with an additional scrim to point out a feature of data attributes that has caused confusion to some students. In my example here, we have used just one word for each of our data attributes names. So it's data-heart or data-share. Now, just like with classes or IDs, it's really likely that at some point in the future, you're going to need to have data attributes that have got multi-word names. So let's go ahead and do some experimentation. I'm going to change this to data-share icon, and I'm going to start off by using camel case. I'll save that, and then over in index.js, we need to update this in two places. So we're going to have share icon here and here. Okay, let's see if it works. So I click the heart icon and we are logging out image-1 just like we expect. I click the share icon and nothing happens. And we're not even getting an error to tell us why. Well, this is because the camel case that we've actually put right here is being flattened to lowercase by the JavaScript. So if I actually change this to lowercase in both places and I hit save, now it should work.
What?
And there we are, both icons are working. So the JavaScript has actually taken this camel case from the HTML and flattened it out to lowercase. So this gives us the first big lesson here. Don't use uppercase letters when naming data attributes in HTML. It just causes you problems. Okay, so if we don't use camel case, what should we use? Well, we should go for dashes. So I'm going to put this all as lowercase, and I'll separate the words with a dash. Now let's save that and update everything in index.js. So it's going to be share dash icon here and here. Okay, let's hit save and see if it works. Well, I'm getting an error. It says reference error, icon is not defined. And likewise, the heart icon is also broken. So there's clearly something going wrong here. And to fix this error, what we actually have to do is use camel case in the JavaScript. So if I come back to these two, and I'll delete the dash and change the I to an uppercase I. Now let's see if it's working, and I'll check the heart icon, that works fine, and the share icon, and that is working fine as well. So what's going on here then is that the two-word name of the data attribute that's separated by a dash is being converted into camel case by the JavaScript. So the best way to do multi-word data attributes is to separate words with dashes in the HTML and use camel case in the JavaScript. So if you ever find yourself debugging strange issues with data attributes, it's really worth checking for capital letters and dash to camel case issues before you do anything else. Okay, now we've got that sorted, let's get back to the main project. Okay, so let's continue our mission to get these icons working. When one of our icons is clicked, we need to know two things: the identity of the tweet itself, and also whether it was a like, retweet, or reply icon that was clicked. And we are going to use data attributes to get this information. What we're going to do is give each of these icon elements a data attribute.
Let's see what they say about it. Right here.
Attribute. The name of the data attribute will identify which icon it belongs to, like, retweet, or reply, and the content will hold the tweet's UID. And that is the unique identifier that we've got right here with each object, and that will tell us which tweet the clicked icon refers to. Now, the first step of this involves working down in this HTML string. So if you'll remember, we've got this for each, it's iterating over our data, and it's creating HTML for each tweet. And we've got the icons here on lines 28, 32, and 36. So here is your challenge. I want you to add data attributes to each of the I tags. You can call them reply, like, and retweet. Each data attribute should hold the tweet's UID. Okay, pause now, get this sorted out, and I'll see you back here in just a minute.
Yeah, I'm low-key lost a little bit, but it's okay. So he said data reply. Oh, this is, yeah, reply UID equals. Does it have an ID? See, I don't know, bro. Tweet dot UID. Oh, I think I know. Yeah, I think I know. Hold on. Tweet heart, so it's data reply. No. What do you say you should name this? Likes. Data likes. UID equals. Tweet dot UUID. Retweets. Data retweet dash UID is equal to tweet dot UID. That's that? Oh, okay. I want them to be exact. We actually did it. No way.
Okay, so hopefully you got that working just fine. So let's come down here and we'll start off on line 28. I'm on race data dash like of the tweet. Now we've got our data attributes, let's set up an event listener. Now, what should we listen out for clicks on? Well, we could listen out for clicks on the feed because this is where all of our tweets are and we'll be able to pick up clicks on any of the three icons. But let's just consider the rest of the app because actually there are only 4 potential click interactions in this entire app. We have got the 3 icons and this tweet button. Now, I think eventually all of these clicks should be detected by just one event listener. That will keep our code nice and dry. So instead of listening out for clicks on the feed, I want to listen out for clicks on the document. So that will actually cover the entire browser page and it's going to pick up both the feed and the button. Now, over here in index.js, we've already got one event listener purely for this tweet button. We could refactor this right now, but let's keep things simple and set up a new event listener just while we work on these icons. Then when we're done, we'll refactor down to just one event listener. Okay, so there's our event listener detecting clicks on the document. Now we have it. We need to use it to get access to the data stored in the data attribute when the like icon is clicked. So bear with me a moment while I set you a challenge. Okay, so here's the challenge. When a like icon is clicked, this function should log out the contents of the data like data attribute. So you'll remember that is the one right down here. We have got this heart icon, this like icon, and here is the data attribute, and it's just holding the UID of that tweet. Now, when you've done this, you'll find that clicking anywhere on the page, but not on the like icon, is going to log out
When a like icon is clicked, this function should log out the context of the data like data attribute. Clicking on the page. That's absolutely fine. Okay.
To log out undefined. That is absolutely fine. And in fact, we're going to use that to our benefit a little bit later. Okay, if you need to go back a few scrims to check the syntax for accessing data attributes, that is absolutely fine. Pause now, get this challenge sorted, and I'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
Accessing data attributes. JavaScript.
So when we log in, we prefer information about it and actually to find, so we, which is of course the
Oh, yeah, I
found
remember.
this
Now I
console
remember.
J element right now, because this is logging out this out, means that the data attribute with the name share
I think I remember fully.
thing happens. Okay, so that is pretty useful. Right, it is challenge time.
And like icon is clicked, this function should log out the context of the data like attribute. If okay, so the other one, so it's okay with it logging out undefined. So we actually have an e. So e dot dataset. Is it e dot target? Not dataset. Am I tweaking or is that what it actually is? E dot target dot dataset. Like console log. Capture the like ID. Oh,
Now we can the element we've got and like on the end. So let's see what happens when we click elsewhere on the page, but not on a like icon. So I'll just click on a tweet, on a retweet, on a reply, each time we are logging out undefined. Now that figures because what we're doing is we're looking to see if the element we've clicked on has a data attribute with the data icons. So that we have got a data attribute with the name retweet. We've got it right here. Okay, I'm just going to add some labels to these console.logs just so we can retweet console.log is giving us undefined. Now let's click on retweet And of course, we get the opposite. Like is undefined and retweet is giving us the UID. So there we are. We've identified both the tweet and the icon. Now, the ultimate aim of clicking on a like icon is to increment the like count. Now, I don't want to have the logic for that right here in this event listeners function, as by the time we've handled the clicks for the retweets and the replies, this function would be huge. So next, we're going to create a function specifically to handle clicks on like icons. And we're going to call that function from the event listener when a like icon is clicked. Now we know which type of icon was clicked and which tweet it belonged to. Our next aim is to be able to click on a like icon and increment that tweet's like count. Now, this is slightly complicated, and we're not going to get this working in this scrim. In fact, we're going to break this process down into several scrims. First thing that we need is a function to handle clicks on like icons. So let's go ahead and set one up. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give this function a good descriptive name. I'm calling it handle like click because that is exactly what it's going to do. Now in this scrim, my aim is to get this function logging out the UID of the tweet whose like icon was clicked. So if, for example, I like Elon's tweet, handle like click should log out the UID that we've got saved down in the data attribute right here on line 37. Okay, so now we've got the function to do that, it's time for you to write some code. So bear with me while I set you a mini challenge. Okay, this challenge is broken into two parts because I want you to write code in two different places. You can do these challenges back to back. The first part of the challenge is here inside the event listener. We know we can tell if a like icon has been clicked by seeing if it has a like data attribute. If a like icon has been clicked, call handle like click, passing in the UID that is stored in the like icon's data attribute as an argument. Now, if the click did not come from a like icon, then no further code should run. We want to call handle like click from the event listener if and only if a like icon was clicked. Now, for the second challenge, handle like click should just log out the UID that is
If a like icon has been clicked, call and
passed to it by the event listener. So handle like click should take in a parameter. You can call the parameter tweet ID, and for now, just log out tweet ID. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky, so I have given you a help document. Just click on this link, and that's going to take you through to a page where there are a few tips and
so my boy said if handle like click passing in the UID that is stored in the like icon widget attribute. Brother. Your click handler isn't choosing the data like value to call the try checking each target data set like and passing that UI that it. Brother, okay, to be honest, bro, it's not even bro, it's not even this thing is hard, bro. Today low key, man, and iffy. Might do just a 1 hour stream. Cause bro, my neck hurts like crazy. Let's see what this says. The event listener will fire whenever user clicks on the feed, but we only want to call our handle like click function if the click was on a heart icon. How can we figure out if the heart icon was clicked on? Let's show exactly what icon the listener does. It clicks out, listens out for click. When a click comes, the function takes in the event as an event that logs it at the phone. If someone clicks the retweet icon, it gives us the UID but console.log, which is undefined, as undefined is falsely in JavaScript. So yeah, bro, I can't lie. We'll finish this one tomorrow, bro. My neck hurts. It's making me hurt. Just gonna get this one done tomorrow. Cause I've been cooking up something soon. I'll go see. But yeah. That's been it for today's stream. I'm feeling tired, bro. I don't know why. What time is it? Where did my time go? Bro. This operating system just decides. Oh, it's right here. Oh, yeah, it's 9 p.m. basically. I'll see you guys tomorrow. W stream. We're back.